You know, the moment you step into leadership, there's a moving target on you. And it may be somebody wants to target you to give you a hug or a word of advice, or they may be trying to clip you off before you can even ascend. And if we're speaking frankly, this is MAAC offline. Relationships are like onions, right? There's a little bit of
layers.
A layer. And the moment I said I was interested in being alumni vice president, people were trying to take those layers off and take it. I think you've heard me use the phrase chip away at your armor. I have to realize, a wise man told me, as the MAAC alumni vice president, I have to start thinking and speaking from the seat of leadership rather than the personal responsibility of Brother Ngwenya. And that's actually something that I'm going to have to continue to grow in.
And that's good. And that awareness is key, because, no man is perfect. And if all brothers, if we're all men, then by definition, we're not perfect either. And the brotherhood isn't necessarily perfect. To that point, as the leadership face of this district, what are some of your plans as far as, repairing what can be seen as brotherhood issues? What are some of your plans to speak directly to that?
So having been alumni vice president, I've kind of been working, or planning for that, for the past several years. And my first action was just to listen to brothers. I was actually very surprised to learn how many brothers just want to be heard. Okay, so as Black men in general, we're already oppressed racially, right? And then, we're profiled by police officers, as we already see through our current events. We go through a lot, right? And then we join this organization where we want to be welcome and supported. And yet, once inside, you learn that everyone's not going to root for you. Everybody may not even want to hear you, right? And so that is very disappointing to a brother who joins just for that very reason, to be heard, to be supported. And so these are the ones who, they'll still, very fervent in their ways, and so they'll still pursue that goal. So that they remain active, thank God. But they do have a gripe, an axe to grind, and so they show that in unfavorable ways. But once you have a conversation with them and you get to the root cause of why they're feeling that way, you learn that, thank you for letting me get off my chest, brother. You have no idea what that means.
Right.
And now they're good. Now they're ready to either, one, support you, or two, go forth and conquer on the things that they never thought that they could, because they felt that everyone would not hear them.
Yeah.
But now, Brother King, Brother Green, you've heard that, brother. And now he's more open to conversing more, or having an open mind to other people.
Right.
So that was one of my very, very first initiatives. Secondly, in my platform, I talked about humanizing the MAAC. And that is just, showing the more human side, kind of like this conversation right here, MAAC offline, right? So just showing how human we all are, and that, no one's A is bigger than the other. We always say that, but how often do we show it? Right? So if we show that, Brother Hawkins came up from humble beginnings, and he's still very humble, he doesn't, try to show off by way of his, his finances, by way of cars or clothes or whatever. You can still approach him,
right,
and have a very, man-to-man conversation where no one's being put off or put down for how they think or how they view things or how they appear, right? Because appearance is a big thing in Alpha,
right?
and so all of these things, I'm judgment-free on.
Yeah.
And it's apparent in how I conduct myself. It's apparent in how,
now
I dialogue with others.
Now you two are a pretty dynamic tandem. You're different in a lot of ways, similar in others. Very efficient workers, very task-oriented, detail-minded. Brother Ngwenya, you're a new face to leadership in this district. What would you say is your number one mission, so that once it's spoken, I can be like, oh yeah, that's Brother Ngwinga, he's going to do such and such. What would that number one mission be?
This is exactly what I spoke about on my campaign. Is you said number one, but I think it's going to be transparency.
Okay.
Right? Transparency in the way I communicate and the way the MAAC communicates and the way brothers within the MAAC communicate. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm an edit king. You give me a piece of paper, I will cut it down only because that's how I was taught.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe in using a whole lot of words to say something that could be said in a couple sentences. And there's a phrase, holding the ball. I don't believe in holding information. If it's going to, I'm going to share as much as possible. So I would love, when my term is up, people will say, you know what? He said that he was going to increase transparency, increase communication, and he did what he said.
I got to tell you, Brother Green, this is real poetic because I remember we ended up at Zeta Rho Lambda chapter meeting together.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time I got to hear your platform in front of a room of brothers, and I was really I was impressed, but I was also shocked because I was like, this is very we're like-minded in what we want for brothers, and I can tell by your campaign that you had a lot of great conversations with a lot of brothers on what they wanted, because transparency is very important. And so that is definitely something that is a focus area, I would say, for my administration as MAAC president too. So it's like a perfect marriage, if you will, and how the two of us came together and found ourselves in these roles.
I just want to take a quick moment to put on the boast cap and kind of, because you said something that's poignant, and there's competition inside the frat. No aid, your aid is bigger than mine, but it's region, down the district, down the area. What is it about the MAAC that makes it so special? What should people know about our district?
I tell you, man, listen, I say this everywhere I go. The MAAC, in my opinion, has the most talented brothers I have ever seen in this fraternity. And I've traveled all across this country, throughout the Caribbean and so forth. Yet and still, I've never seen anything as dynamic in terms of just inherent ability and skill than brothers in the MAAC. And then to further the point, so I was initiated through New Kappa chapter, Brother Green was initiated through Iota Zeta chapter. There's something unique about the college chapters in this district. It's very special how when I used to travel as a college brothers, and when I hear about the college brothers, even today, how much they're all viewed as a part of the same chapter when they come from the MAAC.
Okay.
So it could be a brother from Iota Zeta, it could be a brother from Mu Rho, but when they go to New Jersey or when they go down to North Carolina, the way that they conduct themselves, that their energy, that their vibe and everything, a brother from another state or another district will not know until they speak to him. Oh, you're from a different chapter? I thought y'all were the same chapter. Y'all know all the same stuff. Or y'all know all of the, and so I just think that that's amazing. It's obvious, general headquarters is here in the MAAC.
Okay.
Right, of the fraternity. And then you have things like the capital of America is in the MAAC, right? So you have all these little different elements that are centered right here in this district that I think make it special. And I think that, the brothers within it, just expound on that.
It's funny because there could be somebody watching this right now who has no clue what MAAC is, right? So as a district, what does it encompass? What localities, what chapters, what is it?
Yeah, so the Mid-Atlantic Association of Phi Alpha chapters is the MAAC, in long phrase. Now, those districts, that the district is comprised of the state of Maryland, the state of Delaware, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you take, those respective jurisdictions, I'll call them, you're looking at roughly currently 33 different chapters, comprised of about is it 18 alumni and maybe 15 college right now.
Right.
Yes.
Currently. So, other districts like, you have NYACOA, which is New York Association of Alpha Chapters, and New Jersey, and the PAC, Pennsylvania Association of Alpha Chapters. Those chapters, New York and Pennsylvania specifically, are huge states, right? Geographic, like the size of the state is huge. And so, their chapters are very, very spread out. You can say, now relative to New York and Pennsylvania, the MAAC isn't as large, but our chapters in number, we have a lot more chapters and a lot more brothers in those chapters.
Density,
Density, exactly. And so we make up a larger portion of the Eastern region in comparison to those two chapters at this moment in time.
That being said, how do you, as a district, work within the concept of One Alpha? How does it affect, the service and service projects and as a district, how does it affect that?
You have all these different chapters, right? But geographically, they're so close to each other. So it's easy to drive 20, 30 minutes at the most and be, in the service jurisdiction of another chapter and collaborate with them. Maybe you live there, even though you join, maybe, for example, I work in Montgomery County, right? But I live in Prince George's County. So my chapter is Kappa Epsilon Lambda in Prince George's County. Iota Epsilon Lambda in Montgomery County is the chapter that services that jurisdiction. But if I'm leaving work and I know that the brothers in the IUL are doing an event somewhere, it's nothing for me to just show up and either help out or just support and participate. And I think the college chapters operate the same way. So it's easy to all operate under the banner of One Alpha because we all view it as the same service.
As we wind down here, the COVID-19 era, the protest era, how is that going to change the work that the MAAC is doing moving forward? Because we, in this area, I mean, the frat in general, we do a lot of our work is hands-on, grassroots, ground level, mobilizing and organizing, like, person to person, one-to-one. But that's all changed. So, our lifestyles are different. How is that going to affect the way we implement and program moving forward?
It's funny because, a lot of us are still talking about that, throughout, various chapters. We're trying to figure it out. We're just now starting to really get comfortable with using Zoom for chapter meetings, for example. So, with this level of comfort with technology now, I think within the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to actually see how COVID-19 has impacted the use of, or the service that Alpha provides its communities. And I think it's going to be really special, though. From what the conversations we're having today, the conversations that chapters the programs that chapters are considering, I'm really hopeful. And I think that there's going to be a lot of great things that come out of the MAAC and these chapters in the next few months in terms of service.
Yes. A lot of the brothers in our district are on the front lines already, whether they're in technology, they're in policy, they're in the health world. So they're able to give us a lot of the best practices that we can now mirror in the MAAC instead of the MAAC or the Alpha Phi Alpha trying to figure out best ways to manage events, best way to manage protests, as Brother King said. So there are things that there's institutional knowledge that is already within the MAAC, and brothers are bringing that to all of our organizations, and I'm sorry, all of our programs. Excuse
me. Yeah, permission to speak offline. I just wanted to say that. No, but I think just hearing from you brothers, in this type of format, really gives me hope and optimism as far as the direction of the district and the fraternity at large. So hey man, I just want to celebrate y'all, give y'all roses, man, and salute and acknowledge. It was a tough road to get here, and now we're here. So I look forward to good things from you, the dynamic duo, MAAC leadership on display. And we appreciate y'all. We all sitting back. Well, not really sitting back, but we waiting for that clarion call, if you will.
Yeah.
And you know, let's get it going, moving to the end of 2020 and into 2021. So good to see you, brothers, man, and I wish you well, man.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
brother
much.
King. Good seeing you too, man. Have a good one. All right.
Tell me one thing that you would like alumni bros to know about college bros.
Okay, so one thing I would share with alumni bros to express the college bros feelings would be